Over the past decade, the craft beer industry has boasted some pretty impressive feats of growth. It seems like every time I turn a corner, I'm discovering another new amazing taproom. There are nearly 7,500 craft breweries in the U.S., 1,000 opened in 2018 alone. Those breweries now directly employ over 150,000 Americans and affect well over 500,000 jobs. Small breweries boasted $76 billion in sales in 2018, an 11% increase over 2016, with 5% overall sales growth in that same year. The trend is no different here. There were 35 craft breweries in Minnesota in 2011 when the Surly Law was passed. Today, we're approaching 200. That is some amazing growth in this industry over a very short period of time. The Twin Cities are the epicenter for Minnesota craft breweries. There are so many new and iconic taprooms here that it can be overwhelming, even for beer lovers. We'll be getting intimate with a handful of them over the course of this series. And with so many legendary destinations to choose from, there's no way we can go wrong. So gather around the bar with me as I talk to these incredibly talented brewers about how this stuff is made. We're going to find out what all this hype is about and get to the bottom of a few cold ones. Let's all make a toast to the craft. Today, we're headed to Able Seedhouse and Brewery in the heart of the Northeast Minneapolis Arts District. This area of town used to be home to the Grain Belt Brewing Company, so there's a lot of history where we're going. Northeast is a working class part of town. There are affordable spaces to rent for housing and for business and arts purposes. A lot of the breweries that are in this area, of which there are many, including Able, are in renovated warehouses that used to be used for some other purpose. There are a lot of artists as well living in this area. In the early mid-90s, a bunch of artists moved in and it sort of hasn't stopped since then. So it's a really creative place, oozing with creative juices, quite literally, at a brewery. So we're gonna go check that out today. This little stretch of Northeast plays host to all kinds of new shops, restaurants, and retail spaces that just seem to keep popping up. And this is no exception. There are a ton of great breweries around here. Able's definitely part of that. Their motto here is, we just want to make stuff. So let's pop inside and see what they're making. Hi, good morning. Are you Matt?
I am.
Hi, I'm Diana.
Good to meet you.
Great to meet you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Sounds like we're doing something in the back.
Yeah, they are brewing beer right in the back.
Yeah?
That's right.
That's exciting. Do you know what we're brewing today?
They're packaging a sour today.
Okay. Oh, save some for me. I hope so.
That's right. Me too.
You too, yeah, absolutely. Wow, this space is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Do you know what this was used for before it was a brewery?
Yes, as far as we can tell, this building and the surrounding space went up very, very quickly for the production and distribution of the Edison light bulb. And so as fast as that business boomed, it busted. And the last 80 or so years, it's been the Minneapolis School District. And then they sold the business to a local developer. They actually worked on a lot of their cars in this space. So we've left some of the lines on the floor where they used to park the cars and work on them. Carport was in the back where the brew house sits now.
That is incredible. Yeah. What a cool piece of local history.
That's right.
That's amazing. Wow. And then tell me about what I'm looking at here in this space.
Yeah, so you're in our tap room right now. The full building's just shy of 10,000 square feet, and our tap room's about 3,000 of that. And so we're standing at the bar now, and menu, taps, merchandise, and everything starts here from the experience when you come in the tap room.
That's amazing. Yeah. I think, was I reading that the things I'm seeing are all handmade?
That's right.
From reclaimed wood, is that right?
Well, not all of it's reclaimed, but some of the items like the bar were old timber that were used in the past. They've been planed down and refurbished to be our bar. Wow. We've worked with a lot of local artists and produced a lot of the items that you see, the concrete tops, the chairs, everything comes from pretty close.
And the taps?
Yeah, we made the prototypes for those in my garage the first time, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Wow. All right, well, I can't wait to explore.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Thanks so much for meeting with me today, Matt.
Of course.
I understand that the company was founded upon this motto that's we just want to make stuff.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's right.
Can you expand on that?
Yeah. And that's really where the Able brand, it was a brand exercise to try and distill that concept. And, the power of being able, being empowered really is what came out of that. My partner Casey had drawn this connection by the first time eating a strawberry that was grown not for transport, but for consumption there locally in California. And that resonated with me. So we talk a lot about connections to small grains and the way things used to be here in Minnesota with farmers incorporating small grains into their crop rotation. It really has something that's impactful and important. And we just want to be empowered to pursue good things, good quality things, connection to local artists. And it's hard, but we've done a pretty good job of that.
That's incredible. Thank you for all that work that you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk to me about a seed house. I don't think I've ever been to a seed house.
Yeah, we're actually the only brewery in Minnesota that's currently also a seed house. And we talked about the first planting of that first seed for this business, both in an idea and also literally as planting of a seed. So we worked with a couple local farmers that have allocated a portion of their farm, a very small portion of their farm, to incorporating small grains back into their crop rotation. And then we've brought the grains on site, and we have kind of a Frankenstein system where we're able to malt those grains on site, and that's the seed house part of it. So in order to get access to the sugar for the beer, you have to actually malt the grain, which cracks the husk. And in order for that to happen, we go through a process called malting where we put the grains, they think it's time to germinate, they crack, and then we dry them back out, and then we can mill them and use them in our beer. So all that's happening from seed to growth to malting to beer right here in Minneapolis. And we've been able to build a couple beers now that have come with grains from Minnesota.
That's amazing. Can you expand upon your history with brewing yourself?
Yeah, it's fairly short.
Okay.
In a very short period of time, in about 2009 or 2010, I started brewing 2-gallon batches, kit brewing with my dad. And that morphed very quickly into 5-gallon batches, and getting more creative and making my wife angry that our closet smelled like fermenting yeast. And same for all of the partners. Everybody was toying around with it and playing around with it. And that has completely stopped because we do thousands of gallons at a time now. So it has evolved very quickly in a very short period of time, starting with just a 2-gallon batch with my dad.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. It seems as though this space is super conducive to events.
Yeah.
These tables look movable, so you could reconfigure the space however you want. Can you expand on the events that you might host?
Sure. A couple of things that we do a lot of premieres of movie releases. We do premieres of ski videos, skateboarding videos, fly fishing videos. A lot of birthday parties. We've done some weddings.
Oh.
Some tasting events with local chefs. A lot of artist pop-ups. Yeah, it's always great. Record swaps and all kinds of things that can happen right here.
Fun. And with winter coming up, I know events are like what keeps me going through the winter, so I'm sure this will be a hopping spot for...
As Minnesotans, we have to be careful not to hibernate all year.
That's so true, yes. Well, I think beer is the perfect way to stave away the seasonal affect.
That's right. We schedule a lot of very, very thick, heavy, chocolatey beers for the cold days.
Perfect. Oh my God, I can't wait. Is it beer time? Should we go have one?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. One of the best things about this job is all the incredible beer I get to taste. Alan, thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming.
Oh, absolutely. What do you have lined up for us?
Yeah, let's drink some beer. So we brought to serve you our kind of a flagship and two of our limiteds. Our flagship is our First Light American IPA, year-round and available everywhere, all the time. We have our Oh Yeah Dude fruited sour with blackberry and apricot.
Okay.
And that's a really quick one and done one. That one should be a flash in the pan for us.
Okay.
And then our Grim Arcana, which is a double brown ale that was made with our house rye That house, the rye malt was smoked by Animales, the food truck outside. And then we barrel aged it for 10 and a half months. It's a pretty complicated beer. Yeah.
You had to start this beer, the farthest beer, almost a year ago.
Yes. In fact, we released it about this time last year on its own.
Okay.
And then, just filled 6 wild turkey barrels, bourbon barrels with this beer.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Sounds like a perfect holiday beer.
It's definitely good for this season.
Yeah. Okay, which one should we start with?
Yeah, let's dig in here.
Okay.
So, our first light's probably the best one to get into right away.
Okay.
It's an American IPA, 6% alcohol, and it was right out of the gate our flagship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally juicy. And I'm really relieved. I'm not quite there with my IPA sea legs, so to speak. So I'm really glad that this is an IPA that is doable for someone who's not versed in IPAs yet.
Very much. Yeah. Again, balance and accessibility is the key for us. We want to make cool, tasty beers that everyone can drink.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we have next?
Need to sneak a sip. So let's go with our sour. Ooh. So you can see the color right away. You can probably tell this will be a really fruity one. It actually is probably about a quarter fruit puree. That's kind of how we made how aggressively we fruited this sour.
I'm so glad that you aggressively fruited.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Yeah,
about
we're trying our best to accommodate this new popularity in sours, and we try and come out with a sour about every 6 months.
Okay.
But in the end, it seems like people really like our sour, so we should probably come out with them more and more.
Oh my gosh.
But it's good for the season. It's good with meals, and it's definitely fruity as all heck.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Here we go. I'll do a little sniff. Oh yeah.
Yeah, berry
Oh my
forward.
gosh.
The apricot really kind of helps with some of the sweetness on the profile of the flavor, but really the blackberry is kind of like the tartness of the blackberry comes out too, and really kind of keeps the sort of cuts in between the sour and the sweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, that's really lovely.
It's a nice color too.
It's beautiful. Yeah. I almost don't want to drink it, but I also very much want to drink it.
Sure.
Oh, this is great. Okay, we're saving these, right,
Hold
for
on to
later?
that. Oh, yeah, we'll keep these close.
Good. Okay. And last but certainly not least.
Yes. So this is my favorite. It's called Grim Arcana, and it has a bit of a story. So we sourced some local rye and malted it in our seed house.
Okay.
We gave that rye to John Whiffley over at Animales.
Oh.
He smoked it for us, and then we added it to our beer. So it's a double brown ale. It's a higher alcohol brown ale. And so very malty, very sweet. And then it has just that little bit of spicy richness from the rye that's also smoked, so you get a little twist of smoke on that. And then we brewed this beer last year. We put it into wild turkey bourbon barrels, and we let it sit there for about 10 and a half months and took it out, and we got this.
Oh my God.
So yeah, it's got a lot of different characteristics to it, anywhere between like bourbon, oak, then you get, again, that spicy rye with a little bit of smoke, and then just generally it's a malt sweetness that's nice and soft. It's not, it's drinkable for all beer drinkers, even though it sounds like a challenging beer. It's very much just a delicious one.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can't wait. Here we go. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we released this in time for Halloween. I had a lot of fun in the tap room releasing it. It's only available in our tap room,
Okay.
And it's in Crowlers, so you'd have to come in here and get it with our
And
bartenders.
prowl out. Oh,
And crawl
that's
out.
horrible.
I think it worked.
This is amazing. Wow. I feel very seasonal.
Yeah, it's definitely like a fireplace room, or like bring it, to dinner, or like almost even like desserty, because it's still very rich, and a higher alcohol. But it's akin to just chilling out and not necessarily,
Yeah.
you pretty much only need one crowler for the night
Yep.
to be set. Yeah.
That sounds amazing. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing this with me.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna finish these, possibly all,
Yeah, I think you should.
and then maybe see what else you got on your tap list.
Sounds great.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Mhm.
We're gonna head back into production and meet Bobby, the head brewer. Hi, Bobby.
Hi.
Hi, Diana. Thanks
to
so
meet
much.
you.
Good to meet you too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Did you want to see production?
Can I?
Yeah.
Thank
let's go.
you. So tell me about you and your background. How did you get into beer?
I kind of got into it the way that a lot of, I guess, people do, is that I was started as a home brewer. Was something I had wanted to do, and I had got laid off from a job over the wintertime. Started brewing it, and I just couldn't stop doing it.
And you haven't stopped yet?
I haven't stopped yet.
That's
no.
amazing. And how did you connect to Able?
I was at another brewery at the time. Was the head brewer there, and a friend through the bagpipe band I'm in had a friend at that time starting a brewery. That was Casey, and so we just got connected that way. And I mean, over the course of about a year or so, just developed a relationship,
And here we are.
here we are.
Here we are indeed. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, what's next? Where should we go?
Well, we can go over to the brew house and
Okay.
kind of show you where it all starts.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. So here we are. This is where the magic happens. This is where you put all of your experience and training into practice. Quite often, it sounds like, because the tap list rotates all the time.
Yes. Yep.
So a day in the life of Bobby. We come up these stairs, we're ready to rock and roll. Where do we start?
It all starts on this end. Starts up in the grist case. The grist case is malt that has been crushed. We have a mill room behind us. Bags of malt are put in there. They look like a seed. The mill crushes them, cracks them open, and it all sits in here ready to go for the mash. And that's what this next vessel is called the mash tun. So we mix the grain and water together inside here to hydrate and then start the enzymatic conversion that will ultimately turn the starches into sugars. So by utilizing any kind of multiple different parameters, you can manipulate the types of sugars you want to make for your beer, which will, of course, affect the flavor. And so really on a good day, about 15 minutes of stirring by hand. This is a very, very simple system. So it's 15 minutes by hand of basically stirring oatmeal, a big thing of oatmeal. It sits in here then for another hour or so. And that just lets the enzymes do their thing, and you just get to let them rock and roll.
Okay.
After it's done, what we will do is we'll transfer then the liquid in here is called wort. Transfer that sweet wort over to the kettle, which is behind you here.
Okay.
In here, this is exactly what the name implies. It is a boiling kettle, so it's to boil the liquid. This will condense the sugars, and you can adjust the time of the boil to condense the sugars further, or to express more volatiles, or less, depending upon what kind of beer you want to make. But you're also adding hops in here, or you can add spices, sometimes different types of dried fruit, different things like that to get different flavors. Then it sits in there for usually about an hour. It depends. I mean, the length of time as well. It can make different types of beer flavors. But after that process is all done, we run it through what we call the whirlpool cycle. And it just takes one of the ports in there is like a little jet, and it spins all that liquid all around into a big whirlpool. The pelletized hops are all, broken out at this point into just granules. So we need to get them out, otherwise they will be chunks. They'll be chunks in the beer. And so that spinning process, through physics, just brings them all and condenses them into a cone. So it does that whirlpool cycle, and what we can then draw off is clear liquid. And the clear liquid then gets sent through our heat exchanger, which is that little guy right in the middle. There's a bunch of little plates there, a bunch of little plates all lined up. And on one side of the plate is the wort, that hot boiling wort, and the other side is cold water. And so it's cold brewing water. And through the process, they do exactly, they exchange their heat. So the wort becomes cool and the water becomes hot. So the hot water gets reclaimed into the large kettle or the large tank there. It's called a hot liquor tank. So liquor being brewing water. And we have great water in Northeast Minneapolis that really needs minimal processing. The only thing I do really is I run it through a carbon filter to remove the chemicals. So that's it. It's just the chlorine gets taken out and it's perfect. Otherwise the balance is nice. So.
Oh my God, you make it sound so easy. I'm sure it's not.
Oh
my
lifetime
God.
of experience, or not lifetime, but long time experience, and yeah.
So this is Able. We are here in the heart of the Northeast Minneapolis Arts and now Taproom District. Collaboration is key here, and that's really how this place got started. Able is partnered with the amazing Animales BBQ. Barbecue, art, and beer? Sounds like a pretty incredible combination. Once again, we see that beer is an excellent community builder. And there's room for everyone at the bar in this beer community. It's pretty incredible to think that a few homebrew kits sold to a community of passionate beer makers a couple decades ago would lead to this multi-billion-dollar industry. It's that labor of love, or really of leisure, for soaking up the suds in new and creative ways that drives the evolution of the craft.